What's up? Apple just dropped the entire iPhone 17 lineup today at the All event. This was like the best iPhone event I've seen in years. And this year, Apple literally flipped the script on every iPhone 17 model. They all get premium displays finally, even with the base model. Storage finally goes up to 256 gigabytes. Yes, that's right, from 128. And we get a new 18 megapixel camera, front facing camera, on all iPhone 17 models. I guess you could finally say Apple is pushing the boundaries like we've never seen on any iPhone before. But let me tell you, that's just the start. As you can see, I'm very excited about this Apple event and about the iPhone 17 lineups. The Pro model loses a classic color. We get the thinnest iPhone ever that's finally arrived. And Apple quietly added a cooling tech that could change the gaming world forever. So if you're ready, let's jump right into this video because this is a very juicy one. All right, now we're going to talk about some universal iPhone 17 upgrades. Starting off with ProMotion OLED displays across every iPhone 17 model. Then we get 48 megapixel fusion cameras, standard with detail and macro on all iPhone 17 devices. Now for those outdoor users, we finally get our anti-reflective coating on our iPhone screens. So that means less glare indoors, outdoors, or anytime we have light reflecting on our iPhone screens. Pretty cool to me. I know a lot of us has been waiting for this. And now we're going to talk about, we also now with the 8 megapixel camera, we get center stage front front facing camera with auto framing. Yes, auto framing. So now when we move side to side, just like on some of us that have an iPad with center stage, or the MacBooks that have center stage, we now have it on the iPhone. And then we also get the portrait and landscape toggle, which now keep our phones in portrait without having to go in landscape with just a toggle on the screen. And then we get dual camera mode, which we can record with the front camera and the back cameras at the same time. Pretty cool. We don't have to use the app anymore. All right, so now I want to talk about the iPhone 17 base models. We get a 6.3-inch screen, just like the iPhone 16s last year, the 16 Pros last year. We now get it on the base models with finally 120 Hz ProMotion OLED displays. Exactly, yes. For the first time on an all non-Pro iPhone. And so that means we now all get to enjoy the always on display because we go from 120 all the way down to 1 hertz. So then with this base model iPhone 17, we get the A19 chip. So we actually get an upgraded chip this year. So it means it's 40% faster and a lot more efficient. And so that starts at $799. With the base storage finally again at 256 gigs, up from 128 gigs from all the previous years of storage. So do you think the standard iPhone is just a warm-up? And would you grab the iPhone 17 now that it feels like more of a Pro model? And now that we get the 120 hertz refresh rate with the always on display. So would you pick this phone over a Pro and go with last year, just like last year, with the same price that you got on iPhone 16 that didn't have all these extra features at the same price? All right, now I want to kind of mix things up. I know the iPhone 17 Air or the iPhone 7 The iPhone Air, I'm kind of confused with the name and the naming scheme they wound up changing. So I want to save the iPhone 17, well, the iPhone Air for last, and I want to talk about the Pro models. All right, so the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max, they get an 8 night, no, they get an 819 Pro chip with vapor chamber cooling. That's kind of a tongue twister. So that's a big win for all of us Pro users, and also for all of us gamers, or you gamer, or me gamer, or whoever gamer. Somebody's gonna be gaming with this new iPhone 17 Pro's phone. And then we get a triple 48 megapixel camera system. So the main, the ultra wide, and the new telephoto camera. It's all 48 megapixel across the board, with up to 8 times optical like zoom. And then Apple did something weird this year. They changed up the colors on you, on me, which I always get the iPhone in the black colors, just like I got my iPhone 16 Pro in black, or whatever other colors they call space black or whatever in the years before. I always liked the black colors. So now we get no more black, but we get a bold orange that showed up or arrived. And in the back of the iPhone 17 Pros, we get this new plateau camera design across the back. And then the storage goes all the way from 256 all the way to 2 terabytes. So just think of 1 terabyte for 1,000, well, like 1,500. 2 terabytes for 2,000, which that that's the first time we ever got 2 terabytes on an iPhone, and that's on the Pro Max. So the iPhone 17 Pro comes in at $1,099, and $100 more for the Pro Max, coming in at $1,199. So, do you think Apple has one more surprise with this whole new iPhone category? And would you miss the black iPhone color design, or it doesn't matter to you? Or are you ready to try that new bold orange color? All right, now let's get to the final iPhone that's never been seen or heard of or felt this incredibly thin before, similar to the iPad Pro with that smaller design or smaller frame design. The iPhone Air, not the 17 Air. They didn't want to. I don't know what's going on in Apple's mind, but they don't want to call it the 17, even though this came out with the 17 models. So now it looks like we only got 3 iPhone 17 lineups this year and a Air model, iPhone Air model. So this is the thinnest iPhone ever on an iPhone, with just 5.6 millimeters, which we all heard the rumors. People were saying that we might get a 5.5-inch thin iPhone, but it happened to be a little bit thicker. But ain't nothing wrong with that, because it's got a lot of pro features. Battery life is a lot better than what we expected it to be. And it's got grade 5 titanium ceramic shield 2. Yeah, that's what they told us in the Apple event. And instead of a 6.6-inch rumor display that we heard all these months, we're actually getting a 6.5-inch ProMotion XDR OLED 120 hertz refresh rate. And now it's only eSIM only. That means it's sleeker with no SIM tray. So we get a bigger battery, because of the regular SIM card is now erased out of all iPhone models. And then we get one 48 megapixel dual fusion rear plus 18 megapixel front facing camera, which we also get dual camera or dual video. And that one also gets an A19 Pro chip too, but we only get 5 cores instead of 6 cores in the Pro phone. And that one starts at $999, which is not a bad price because it's still considered a Pro phone, but with just one camera. And like I said, base model starts now at 256. Finally up from 128. I don't know how long we had to go. I didn't think I could go another year with 128 gigs of storage or 120 hertz promotion on a base model. Because I always wanted to try a base model, but I wanted those pro features. I wanted a good screen. I wanted good battery life, which the previous base models have pretty good battery life, but not as good as the Pro models, which the Pro models you pay a little extra for. And with all of these new iPhones, we was hearing that because of the tariffs, that we was gonna have to actually pay more. But I don't know how in the world Apple made it possible for all of us that's buying iPhones this year that the price never changes. We still get the same pricing from last year, but they gave us a lot more bang for our buck. That means we even got upgraded storage, better cameras, better screen, better batteries, all for the same price. Can't go wrong with that. Thank you, Apple. Appreciate it. Love you, Apple, for all your hard work and making this iPhone year possible. Because it just blew everybody's mind. After seeing everybody, after the Apple event or during the Apple event, everybody's running to go check out the new iPhones and all the other new accessories and all that other kind of stuff. I seen this was like the most exciting year ever in iPhone history for me and all the other accessories for everybody else too. So, would you buy the thinnest iPhone ever? Or is durability more important? Or is battery life more important to you? Or do you think the way Apple said it in the event that we could get all day battery life with this new iPhone Air, not 17 Air, iPhone Air? So that's it for the iPhone 17 lineups. Apple just went from playing it safe to making the boldest moves in history or in years. From universal 48 megapixel cameras to the slimmest iPhone ever to Pro models with cooling feature and a bold new color direction, Apple has clearly flipped the script. And new competitors are now might be the ones trying to catch up. Now that Apple finally done did something spectacular. So stay tuned for my full unboxing and my first impressions of whatever iPhone I decide to pick up, because I'm very undecided right now. Because once it's in my hand, I'll show you exactly what Apple got right and also what Apple probably or totally got wrong. But we shall see. So, which iPhone 17 model are you picking up? Or are you skipping this year and going and waiting for next year? Or are you cool with the iPhone that you already got? Let me know down in the comments. So, thank you for watching. If you're new to Mr. Noble TV, please hit that like, smash that subscribe button, and use the hype feature to show extra support to Mr. Noble TV. Your hype helps boost the channel and helps the family. Can't wait to get that iPhone 17 in my hand. You heard me, chirp. All right, I gotta go. I know you gotta go. See you in the next one. Peace.